Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we are playing some Esper Affinity. This is one of my favorite decks, not necessarily always best in the meta, but we got to keep trying to make it better. So this deck uses Glinthawk and Core Skyfisher to pick up Cryogen Relic, as well as other artifacts to get tons and tons of value. We also have Refurbs, Grim Baubles to be picking up, and Navigator's Compass, which can fix our mana and also gives us some lifelink. Or not lifelink, just life gain. Sewer Valence Cam can tap and untap a bunch of creatures to help our guys get in or slow down our opponent. For removal, we also have some Thraben Charms, Cast Downs, and Suffocating Fumes. For some more card draw, we're playing some Reckoner's Bargain, also for some more life gain. And then we also have Utrum Monitors, Mere Enforcers for additional creatures. Thoughtcast, of course, because we're a blue affinity deck. And then mostly artifact lands in our mana base, as well as a Bojuka Bog for a little bit extra value, something we can pick up with our Core Skyfishers as well. And then in our sideboard, we have a couple Metallic Rebukes, Envelops, and Blue Elemental Blasts to hopefully allow our artifact lands to not get destroyed or exiled. Some Fairy Macabres, Shrivels, and Duress, which can also help with that. So let's just take this for a league and see how we do.
Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video.
No turn aside, tragic. Yeah, I mean, I think we've mentioned this before. I've tried turn aside, and I feel like it's okay, but it just kind of gets stuck in your hand. So instead of turn aside, I have Envelop, Duress, and Metallic Rebuke, and hopefully that'll be good enough. We are on the play here, and this hand looks pretty decent. We have all of our colors of mana. Could definitely use some more lands, but we have Cryogen Relic, Thoughtcast to hopefully find them. Grim Bauble and Thraben Charmer for against any creature deck will help as well. So this seems pretty decent. Start with the Goldmire Bridge. And against something black, we get a Cryogen Relic here. Russ trying to mess with the space-time continuum. Last league I'd seen you do had 2 turns that worked out well. Yeah, I mean, I will say Esper Affinity is a deck that I've played a lot off-stream, or... oh my god, can't catch a break. Off stream or video, and there have been a lot of games that have not been recorded where I've had very bad luck with the turn-asides. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Of course, the turn 2 Mass Vandal. Yep, didn't see a single green deck. The 5 matches we just played instantly queue into the turn 2 Masked Vandal. So glad to see this deck again. Someone was playing it last night at Locals. Nice. Always love to hear that. I'm obviously a big fan of it. Less so when we immediately get paired into this. Not just because Masked Vandal, but also like Spy is just one of our worst matchups. They theoretically could just have Spy on turn 4 and we're going to lose here. Even if we get a white source, like am I going to be able to afford to hold up Thraben Charm? Probably not. I guess I could bauble the Great Creeper Vine. That would make it so I wouldn't necessarily die instantly. If they have a Spy, I guess that's probably worth it. It's the only way we don't die. Then I Thoughtcast, hopefully hit a land. And Refurb making them discard doesn't actually do that much. So okay, we'll take some precautions to try not to die. I mean, Bojuka Bog's not bad. We will go for a Refurb here. We've already let them get another Vandal off, so might as well make them discard again. There's the Giant. You know full well it's going to be all Masked Vandals and Troublemakers from now on. Yeah, that's the problem with this deck, is that it always feels like we specifically get paired into the Vandals that you don't want to be hitting. Not necessarily dying instantly is very powerful. I've heard that. I'm just not sure I believe it. I mean, if we get a Ancient Den, I can hold up a Thraben Charm, and I will, but if we don't, Bauble doesn't do it now. I mean, I can Refurb, Monitor, Enforcer, and then Bojuka Bog them. It's pretty decent, but it's not going to stop us from instantly dying. Not dying really strong in the meta. I mean, honestly, I feel like not dying might get nerfed at some point here. It's feeling a little overpowered, in my opinion. Probably should ban not dying. I mean, I think that is where we're going towards, so we'll see how that works. They're just going to go for the Spy, unless they have a land in hand that they didn't play for some reason. It's Gambit. We'll see if it pays off for them. Only 8 cards. Okay. There's a little bit of justice in the world. They're playing a main deck Flaring Pain. Although if we don't get a white source, I assume they're doing this because they have another Spy in hand. So Ancient Den. Surveillance doesn't do anything. It's one of those things that slots into literally every deck. Yeah, exactly. It's just too common. Dying decks just can't compete with the raw power of not dying decks. Yeah, I feel like we need a more diverse meta of dying and not dying decks, personally. I mean, if I want a shot at not losing immediately with the Spy, I need to crack Cryogen Relic and hope for an Ancient Den. I think that's the game plan. Otherwise, I could let Grim Bauble have a better chance of setting it up next turn, but yeah, not really going to work. Swing with the team. Mono Green has a hard time fitting it in. Different colors got to have their strengths and weaknesses for sure. And I can bauble away the Spy and lose to the second one that's coming up. Oh, lead the Stampede. I guess we're not dead yet. There's 2 Spies though. Actually, I can't obviously kill here because they have jump blockers, so I should upkeep a Grim Bauble. And if I find an Ancient Den, of which we have, probably 3 in the deck. I do have 3. Compass isn't going to do it now because I'm not going to have the mana. But yeah, I think, so I could top deck, and if I top deck an Ancient Den or a Compass, that's 5 hits to survive, or I can Grim Bauble and I have 3 hits to find 3 cards. I'm no Hyper Geomancer, but I think those are better odds, so I'm going to do this in the upkeep. Try to find an Ancient Den. Oh, we found an Ancient Den. Maybe we're doing it. Swing with the team, jump with the Vandal, and I mean, they probably go for it. Ready for the 3rd Vandal. Yeah, that is the problem, is if they have that. Nope, they're just going for it, as they should. Mill their deck. There's always a 50-50%. Either you get the den or you don't. You're right. You're right. Just taking that coin flip is sometimes tough. Through 2 Masked Vandals, we were able to get them with this Thraben Charm. Pretty sick. Exile any number of players' graveyards. You know, we'll do them a favor. We'll exile our graveyard as well. You know, just in case they gain hexproof, you know. All right. That was nice of you. I try to be courteous, you know. I'm not trying to cheese anybody. All right. We get Fairy Macabres and we get Envelops. Those are all pretty good. Cam is not super relevant here. Castan's good. Fumes, not so much. Life gain from Bargain or Compass is not super relevant. Compass is good to keep in, though, because if they screw up your mana like they just did, maybe it can fix your mana. So I think we keep those. Is it all the bargains? I mean, card draw is still good, so maybe like an Enforcer and a bargain? Yeah, let's do that. Envelop can obviously counter Dread Return, but also just counters their Lead the Stampede and Winding Way, so that's nice. Fairy Macabre can stop them from winning, or it can... Ooh, I kind of think I have to keep this hand. It's not very good, because we don't have an artifact to pick up with the Glint Hawk, and even if I get a Cryogen, I need a blue source. That's a GG hand. I mean, the problem is that they're not all in on one... like, they can go for a mid-range plan, right? Did the numbers quickly, but you had about 20% chance to see the den there. Okay, that's not bad. I assume it would have been less to just randomly top deck a den or a Compass. Cracking the Bauble. Yeah, I gotcha. I mean, I think we keep this, but if we draw poorly, I could definitely see us losing still. They mulligan to 5. That does help. 11% on top deck. Okay. Ooh, they mulligan to 3. Do we think we can get there? I mean, we could still definitely lose. I'm not kidding. If they like Winding Way into 4 creatures, then their mulligan's mostly undone. We could definitely draw poorly. Hyper Geomancer doing Hyper Geomancer things. Yeah. This is why you're always needed. If you're not here, I'm going to be wondering what the percentages of various things. I could Glint Hawk this immediately. Seeing as they mulligan so low, I honestly don't think it's a terrible idea to just like start a 10-turn clock, but I didn't do that, and I probably won't unless... I mean, was it 43 cards, right? I don't remember exactly, but it was definitely around there. 40-ish. 43 sounds right. I mean, I think I Glint Hawk. I have nothing else to do. Might as well get a creature down. I did waste 2 damage by doing it this way, but I'm also never dying to their combo. You know, if they get a Generous Center out or something, it's kind of bad, but they're pretty far off of that. Gatecreeper Vine. Also, because of their mulligan, they might just be incentivized if they do get Spy to just like go for it, and then obviously we have a little bit of insurance. Well, more Glint Hawks. If I have 40 cards left in my deck, what are the chances that I top deck my father loving me again? Russ, you got to have it in your deck for it to be a potential to draw it. You know what I'm saying? 50-50. Either he does or he doesn't. Exactly. Well, we're now just on the Glint Hawk beatdown plan. Gatecreeper Vine. I mean, that's all 4 lands. I left it in my maybe board. Rookie mistake. Come on, another Glint Hawk. Perfect. This plan is flawless. Best game ever. 2% just like the milk he went out to get. This is amazing. Somehow I think my full house is going to beat whatever he's got going on, his 2-pair. There's the Spy. Oh no, I don't have Thraben Charm available. How am I going to win? Just like Garfield intended. Oh no, he's got so many creatures in his graveyard. I'm about to lose, guys. With the 3rd Glint Hawk, the kitchen has officially been burned down. Alright, let's take out this giant and this giant. If I wanted to BM, I could also hold priority and do another Fairy Macabre and then do another Fairy Macabre, but we'll just let them concede. Well, they're not conceding, so here goes the Dread Return and a Mesmeric Fiend. And then I guess we won't mess around in case there's some world where they don't die and we have a 3rd Macabre. Okay. Well, we won one of our worst matchups in my experience, so that was good. That was fun. The cat, not the man. Exactly. The real main play is to take a giant in the other Dread Return. I mean, I thought about just taking like 2 Masked Vandals with the first Fairy Macabre and then the other 2 Masked Vandals and then going for the Giant, but that felt real mean. So many options to win this match. Glenhawk Ancient Den combo, too strong. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like all we needed was 1 land and 3 1-drops. All right, this hand looks pretty decent. 2 lands, technically no black, but Compass fixes that, which is really nice. Opponent mulligans to 5. They're looking for their Masked Vandals. They already know they need them. Old time Boros-like kill. Loved it. Yeah, it was definitely something special there. After the 3rd Glinthawk, maybe I shouldn't have played the land, so I would have won with just Glinthawks on the battlefield. That would have been a thing of beauty. They do mulligan to 4, by the way. Snecker who? Ban Ancient Den. Ancient Den is definitely a power outlier. Like, I'm pretty confident it's in the top 5 best cards in the format. Okay, they're not anything crazy combo-y. They just had some bad luck. And we get a vault. I could just bobble away the Delver instantly. If I do that, next turn I play Bridge and Compass. Or I can play Bridge now, then we take a hit from this. There's not really a reason to. Yeah, we're just going to bobble it. They mulligan to 4, and they kept based on a Delver, so let's just kill the Delver, I think. I mean, could you have not died without Ancient Den? Needs to be on the watch list, at the very least. Yeah, I agree. Ooh, another Delver. He's coming. All right, Compass and a Bridge. And then next turn I can Glinthawk, bobble this Delver. And I bet that'll draw out a concession. Unless they have a counterspell for the Glinthawk. That'd be pretty good. Ooh, Brainstorm. They had no cards in hand after the Brainstorm. I would love if they just like draw 3 islands. So they set up their Delver and they literally can't flip it. That'd be so funny. I'm not necessarily expecting that, but I mean, come on, give me a laugh at least. Flip on a Ponder. Haven't shown Ancient Den yet, so probably won't concede. Yeah, that's fair. I really got to dig for that Ancient Den if I want them to cower. Ponder. Doesn't shuffle. Mental Note. Double Deem. All right, they're down to 5, or up to 5 spells in the yard. Ooh, what a draw. All right, concessions coming out now. We get to pick off that Aberration. And we get to play a Monitor as well in the same turn. I'm not even sure this should be legal. This feels disgusting. Who knew 1 bauble could slay so many Delvers? Sleep of the Dead on the Monitor. And they have a Serpent. There he is. Thoughtcast. Skyfisher looking bad. 2 CMC. Yeah, pretty brutal card. Ooh, Cast Down. So expensive. I think we just go for another Thoughtcast here. Island, cast a Thoughtcast, Monitor. No blue now that I use the Compass, so it'll have to be next turn. But I can also cast this down if they don't leave up mana, or have a cast down, or counterspell, that is. Did you see the Giant's Boulder card in The Hobbit? I did. It looks pretty good. I think it'll probably be an upgrade for Barrels of Blasting Jelly, which has already been a pretty good card. Serpent. Nice. No counterspell. So yeah, I think that one's definitely going to show up in some Tron decks. I guess I just cast down this guy so that I don't have to pay the ward, because we actually just have a much faster clock than them picking all this stuff up. I'm just going to pick up Compass. It does increase the amount of times they have to hit us, plus picking up the bauble. Chances they get another Delver are low, and if they do, it's not going to be flipped, and I can Fumes it away. So swing for 5. Just bobble him. Yeah, I should have bobbled the Terror. That would have really shown a message. Sent a message, I suppose is the phrase. Let's see what they got. They're going to sleep a Monitor so they can attack in, because otherwise I could just block here. Okay, taking 5. Still hitting for 7, though. And a Reckoner's Bargain. Why not? Gain some life. Cryogen. The grimmest bauble. You don't even know what that bauble did to be so grim. We got another Skyfisher. Why not? Bouncing Cryogen Relics, like my favorite thing to do in the format. Ooh, and a Bridge. Triple Glinthawk plus Bauble kills Terror for the low price of 6. Black, 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 white, white, white. You know, that's fair. It's almost the cost of Joe could be a lot better if I could remember the name of the card. The Archon that exiles a thing that's like 4 white, white, black, black on ETB or death. Anyway, did you see any other standouts in The Hobbit? There are a couple other cards that look like they might be playable. I think the other one that I've seen that looks most playable is, it's like an Orcish Spear or something. It's another, we don't have enough of these. It's another discard and draw 2. It's an artifact, and it's an equipment for 3 mana. Well, it's 2 to play, but it's equipped for 3 plus 2/+0 to a creature. I think in general it's going to be worse than Moxite in those Gates decks, but it looks a lot better in a deck like Rally or something that might just have a bunch of creatures that they want to make bigger, as opposed to just getting another creature that dies to a breath weapon or something. And if you put it on a snacker, you make your snacker a 4/1 that keeps coming back, so that seems good too. All right, Duress and Rebuke, I guess. Neither of these are amazing. Goblin Short Spear. Boros Moxite goes Burr. Yeah, it's also just another artifact that does that. So your Boros Moxite decks that use Glinthawk and Skyfisher to pick them up has now 8 artifacts that it can pick up and do the discard draw 2 thing, which seems pretty good. Because previously they had just the Moxite and then like Bitter Reunion, and they could pursue the past, of course. But Bitter Reunion can't be picked up by Glinthawk, so there's a bit of a trade-off there. Equipment, underrated IMO. I agree. Equipment definitely have their downfalls, but there's definitely a lot of good ones. Yeah, I think I saw that, but it's 3 or 4 to equip. It's 3 to equip for +2/+0, so it's expensive, but like it's on rate for the initial effect. And then just like a Melded Moxite, like 3 mana for a 2/2 with no abilities is a bad rate, but it's an addition to an effect that's already on rate. So the +2/+0 will be decent in some decks. I don't know if it's going to be better than Moxite, but I could definitely see it doing some things. Anyway, what are we doing here? Fumes can be taken out. I think these are the ones I want to bring in. Bargain, Compass maybe. And I mean, Bauble's not amazing unless it's killing a Delver, which if it is, it's pretty good. But I don't even need to kill a Delver because I have 16 or 15 blockers for it. So let's just put in the Compass and keep our mana good, I think. Look at how good our mana is. It's amazing. Turn 1 Den's pretty good. True. It's fairly common for blue Terra folks to side Delver out against Refurb.deck. Yeah, that's also definitely a good thing to keep in mind. Well, that's 3 1-landers in a row in our 20-land deck. I guess 20 is pretty standard. We got to go to 4. Okay, we got to keep this. This is a deck that mulligans decently. Like, I've won quite a few games off of a mull to 4, as long as you have the perfect opener, which is not this. And now it's pretty close, I will say. The perfect opener is 2 lands, 1 is a bridge and 1's an untapped land. Ideally, you have all 3 of your colors, and then Cryogen Relic plus either a Glinthawk or a Skyfisher, because it just like draws you so many cards. Of course, if we get our Cryogen like counterspelled here, it gets pretty bad, but I think I gotta do it anyway. And then if we Thoughtcast next turn, it can maybe resolve. I mean, it's not great. They're going to counterspell. But also, if we draw another Cryogen, this is opening us up to being able to do that next turn. I think doing nothing here is not the answer, unfortunately. Mana base for this deck is so tough sometimes, I think maybe to use some basic lands with Esper Landscape. Yeah, it's definitely something that's been thought about before and done. The problem is, if you like to put enough basics in your deck and landscapes to properly accommodate that, you probably want 3 or 4 landscapes, and then you probably want 1 to 2 of each basic. So then half of your deck is suddenly non-artifact lands. So then we really can't play Mirror Enforcer in the deck. We could still play Refurb and maybe even Ultra Monitor and stuff, and I'm not saying it's inherently a bad idea, but you're just losing the power of playing all your creatures reliably on curve. But the mana is definitely very tough, for sure. That's why the Compasses are something that get main decked at this point most of the time. And I've also tried going up to 21 lands in the deck, and that's, good sometimes, but then you get flooded and it's tough. Jen can get away with the landscapes because outside of Refurb, it's not an Affinity deck. Correct. They've filled their graveyard. They have a Terror and looks like a Cryptic Serpent, maybe? No, Flashback Deep Analysis. Okay. I mean, we're not dead necessarily. We're just pretty close. Here's a Thoughtcast. Spell Pierce. Envelop. That's not even good against us. We literally only have 4 Thoughtcasts in our deck. I guess we brought in 2 Duress as well. That's a crazy sideboard card here, I feel like. Ponder. They attack for 5. They have a Cryptic Serpent. Oh, look, we got a Cryogen Relic. Even if it resolved, it would not be good enough. I mean, of course, we could put in some Fairy Macaws. I don't think anything... I think that was just bad luck. We mulliganed 3 times, saw 4 hands, and none of them were very good. Let's just try not to do that. All right, good mana. That's the important thing. 3 consecutive 1-landers, 0.8%, 1 in 127. Yep, that sounds about right. But I will say, Hypergeomancer, what do you think about the fact that everything is 50% chance of happening, right? Because it either happens or it doesn't happen. So how is there any discrepancy there? It feels like it would always be 50%, They go for a brainstorm. Hypergeomancer has left the chat. Yeah, it sounds about right. They're going to cycle in their upkeep. Better than the milling for us. They get an island. Play that island. Compass. Compass is okay. I get to basically play it for free here. Well, if I play it and they annul it, then I don't get to Thoughtcast. But also, if they want to spend an annul on Compass, that's pretty okay by me. I am going to Thoughtcast here because it fits into our mana curve. If they have a Envelop, they get me. So be it. Like instead of Compass, I would have preferred like a Refurb, but it's fine, I suppose. Monitor. Yeah, I mean, Monitor probably gets countered. Another annul. Let's Glint Hawk. All I'm picking up is a Compass, so it's not great, but that sentence is being said and written so often that I started believing what I am doing is wrong. My whole worldview has crumbled from a meme. For it being a bad card for this matchup, it has hit you hard both times, just saying. Yeah, I mean, that can happen. It can definitely, I will say, with their ability to brainstorm a card back on top and then mill it, they could definitely be a little bit more liberal with what cards they bring in. But yeah, I mean, if they draw it and I draw one of my 4 Thoughtcasts, it's going to be good for them. But what if I don't draw a Thoughtcast? Then they're sitting there with a counterspell that doesn't do anything in hand. Either the Envelop works or it doesn't. Yeah, very true. I mean, I'd probably go for a cast down on their Serpent in their upkeep. Either it's good or it's not, Everything in life is just a coin flip. And right now it's good, exactly. They go for a counterspell. Hypergeomancer crying over here. They have a Tellurian Terror? Not sure why they're hesitating. Maybe it's a Sleep of the Dead. Cycle of Lorien. Okay, interesting. Hold up counterspell. Maybe. I'm drawing all these 2-drops. And only 3 lands is making this really tough. And not having an untapped land means I can't even go for a Skyfisher, pick it up, replay it, trick. So I'm going to pass, and I'm going to cast this down again. I'm sure they're going to have a counterspell because they just left up mana for a counterspell, but whatever. Esper Affinity is now one of the top decks. All matchups are 50-50. Fair enough. Either you play against them or you don't. Exactly. Now you're catching on. Another Serpent. 3-pin Charm. Ugh. See, I mean, this is another problem with the deck is like all 2-drops. A lot of decks are good with a lot of 1-drops. This one has so many 2-drops. Spell Snare would just wreck this deck. I mean, I kind of think I need to sack like Compass here. Hope they don't have a Dispel. But with Envelop, Annul, it seems like it'd be hard for them to have a Dispel or a Spell Pierce. If I sack Compass, I lose Affinity count. I've already used 2 cast downs. But I could get like a Neutron Monitor. I could just pass, and I could go for a Reckoner's Bargain chump here. 3-pin Charm doesn't do much. Enforcer costs 4 mana. I guess I bargain the Glint Hawk, trying to chump block, but nothing feels very good. Bargain. Enforcer costs 3. Yeah, I think so. Did I say something different? I meant 3 regardless, but I could play it. It's just that, what does it do for me if it takes my entire turn? But I may have misspoken. They have a Mystic and a Ponder now. So I can play Bridge, Enforcer for 2, play an Enforcer. So I can double Enforcer now, but it doesn't really block. Sorry, I heard 4. I thought you were implying it isn't an option. I may have said 4. No, it just wasn't a very good option, but it was possible to cast it. Here's a seat. I mean, I pretty much just got a double Enforcer. They probably have an Annul. Okay, no. But I can double block a Serpent, go to 1 maybe, if they don't have any way to get rid of our guy. Another Murmuring Mystic. And then a Sleep of the Dead. I'll double block the Serpents. Go to 2. Brainstorm. That's a lot of birds. And a Serpent. And we get a seat. Well, we die, unfortunately. I mean, I've tried making more 1-drop heavy lists in the past. Jund plays a similar amount of 2-drops, but of course they have the ramp, which helps. I'm trying to figure out how to fix that. This one's good enough. It's also tough because we're a full 3-color deck. 10-ish white cards, blue cards, and black cards. Whereas it's usually better if you're 1 or 2 main colors. Jund is primarily black with 6 red cards and then 2, well, not 2, 6 green cards with Chrysalis and stuff. 4 to 6. But so many of our cards are just really really good. Well, it looks like Spy again. Everything's green, but it does look like Spy again. We can't really do anything for 2 mana, so we'll just play a Bridge here. Would you try the Boulder out in Esper Affinity? Interesting. Maybe. Hadn't really thought about it. Scry 2's not bad for 1 mana, but of course we already have access to Candy Trail if we really wanted to do that, and we don't. Oh, they have nothing? Oh, everything else is 2 mana. That's pretty cool for us. But then the Boulder also fixes mana, which is cool. Wildfire both ramps and does fixing for Jund 2. Yes. And then also they have the landscapes, which we talked about. We don't have access to currently. We could, maybe. So Yeah, Boulder could be interesting. I guess instead of Compass, we lose the life gain, but we get the Scry, which is better in a vacuum. This is a pretty good start. Obviously, them missing their land drops really good for us, but like we also just have 5 damage in the air, which is a pretty reliable 4-turn clock, and then we have double Thraben Charm. To me, it's clearly a Monster Tron card, but it could replace Compass. Yeah, I agree. It's like definitely made for Tron, but yeah, it's probably worth trying. I mean, it's mostly the Scry and the fixing, because like the 7 mana blow up thing is like not really that useful, so is it good enough? I don't know. Maybe like Candy Trail is just better. I think Candy Trail is something I haven't tried in this deck, actually, that maybe I should. It doesn't seem amazing at first because of the fact that you, if you pick it up, you just get a re-Scry. You don't get to draw, but like it's cheap. Scry helps. It's affinity count. And then it's colorless, and then it draws cards and gains life, so maybe replacing Compass with some Candy Trail could be decent. Could be one of each with a Compass in the side, maybe. Yeah, I think Compass gets moved to the sideboard. It's just too good in the right match if that is what we want to do. I guess we have him not quite on a 2-turn clock, so we just need another creature here. So I could bargain a land to try to hit a creature, but I probably don't need to do that even with our charms and our cam and everything. Think we'll probably be getting there anyway. All right, maybe we're actually the spy killer. Look at that. Take out these. Sure. Yeah, I feel like Candy Trail is one that I had thought about trying before in the list, and I just hadn't really gotten around to. Probably worth trying the new Boulder as well, but I don't love that it's got the really expensive ability that we'll almost never be able to use, but maybe the Scry and the fixing is good enough. Camera's super sweet in Esper, but sadly it is blue. What do you mean? Like the Surveillance game? It's got good mana, and if we get any artifact, it's pretty good here. If we don't get an artifact, it's really bad, and we kind of need some interaction, so I think we got to mulligan this. We'll keep this. I mean, Bojuka Bog's not really that relevant against them, unfortunately. I think I like everything else better, actually. Maybe I could get rid of a Skyfisher or a Thoughtcast, but those cards are too good. There's a Caretaker. Requires blue mana to be cast, hard to play, bounce and redeploy consistently. Yes, yeah, you're definitely right. I've been trying it out, and like I do like it. Like there was definitely a league where I played it, and it felt incredible shortly after it came out, where it was like I was able to play it, tap a blocker, bounce it back, tap another blocker, attack in for 6, and then do that over and over and over. But yes, the blue mana does make it a lot harder. That's the other thing. We have a lot of just like cheap 1-pip things, refurb, monitor, Thoughtcast, Surveillance, Grimbauble, and that obviously is tough. That's a great draw, and they have a mountain. They discard their mountain. Cool. Entertaining Tron video. Gotta finish it later. Glad you were enjoying it. Thought you meant the blue cards are just icky. Yeah, exactly. Forest. They have a mountain, so I assume there's a 4th land here. Yeah, oh, they're gonna go for Spy. They can just do it now. And I have a Macabre, and they even have a Vandal. Dude, is Macabre broken? Oh my god. This card just wins games. Mostly when our opponent mills themselves for 50. Just wins the game outright. Giant. Very risky combo from them. Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, we're tapped out, so you have to have a Macabre, but of course, Macabre's pretty well played in a lot of decks. They had a Vandal. I think they didn't have a Mesmeric Fiend in hand that we knew about, so like I think it was worth going for it from them, because otherwise they were just looking for a Fiend, but I understand. All right, we have a decent hand here. Good luck with the league. Appreciate that. Sleep well. Not at all blue cards the most rewarding if you play well, at least it used to be. Yeah, that's still usually true, I think. White Weenie can be a tough one, because they're going to get a Dust to Dusts. It's okay. Straight to combat. Okay. Attack for 1. Okay, not White Weenie. Boros. Cool. Skyfisher the Inspector. Let's just Cryogen. Next turn I can refurb and Thoughtcast. Refurb and Skyfisher maybe. Got some options. Let's see who's the grindier Skyfisher deck. I think it's us, but they are the slightly more aggressive one with a bunch of burn spells, which can also be a good way of doing it. Monitor's pretty good. Probably just want to refurb, monitor, Thoughtcast then. I don't need to Thoughtcast. I probably want to get a tap land down, actually. Refurb, monitor, tap land. I think that's probably better. They discard Olympus, monitor, bridge. They Galvanic Blast the refurb. Okay, Journey the monitor, because they didn't have Metalcraft. Okay, not too bad. We can replenish some of our stuff here. Ooh, Glinthawk's decent, although we probably want a Skyfisher. Let's start with a Thoughtcast, actually. Refurb. Yeah, they have so few cards, I think I want to refurb them. And then Skyfisher, so we also get 2 guys on the field. Yeah, they lose a Bolt. That's pretty good. Pick up Cryogen. Skyfisher. Synth. Windscarred Crag. Good hit from them. Thraben Charm. Swing with the team. I'll trade with an Inspector. Based on what we have, we win the long game a million times over. So let's just make sure we get there. Skyfisher, pick up a relic. Pajuka Bog them, pass the turn. Skyfisher's a good draw from them. Synth into a Melded Moxite. Okay, they're on both. That's kind of cool. If they want to use that, they got to discard their Synth, though, so that's interesting. They choose to do that. Garrison picks up Radiant Fountain, probably. Compass. Let's go for a relic. Bridge. Skyfisher on relic. Another Skyfisher. Play Compass. Pass the turn. Like never running out of cards here. And the Compass isn't bad because we could get close to like dying to burn. So I don't mind that. Lembas. Scribes to the top. Synth. Hits something. Journey to Nowhere. That's pretty good. They're getting removal. I can still block 2 of it here, though, unless they have another bolt or something. Gal Blast, which they do. All right. Oh, you know what? I can wipe their board, though, so that's good. I can Bauble, Glint Hawk, Bauble, shrink them both, and then I can Suffocating Fumes. Let's do that. Means I'm not hitting a land drop this turn, but that's okay. Wiping their board feels pretty good. They do still have plenty of things to do with their mana. Make a 2/2. Draw extremely well. Get a Glint Hawk, pick up a Synth, which is going to hit a Glint Hawk. Oh my gosh. They find a Bolt. Glint Hawk the Synth. Find a Great Furnace. They're going one more time for the Synth. Hit a Boros Garrison. All right. So Bolt this, Garrison of Fountain maybe. I mean, I can keep picking up the Bauble to wipe their guys if I want to. Not a bad idea. I'm technically getting less value than if I just bounce a Cryogen, but that's probably fine. Let's start with a Thoughtcast. Okay, we do hit our land drop, so I could just Glint Hawk, Skyfisher, kill these both. Probably don't need to do both of them. I think we're going to do another Thoughtcast then, so let's do that. Refurb to take their last card, which is a Radiant Fountain. Skyfisher for the Bauble. Make this a swamp. Bauble one of their guys, so we don't get blown out if they get a bunch of removal. And then we'll just pass. They top deck a Synth into a Skyfisher. This is crazy sequencing that they're getting. Pick up a Synth, gets a Galv Blast, play a Synth into a Bog. Okay, don't care about that. Blast the Skyfisher. Luckily, they're focusing on our creatures, so I don't have to care that much about gaining life here. I can just keep killing their creatures. Although we have a bargain if we need to gain some life here. I guess we'll be trading, though, so I won't be able to bargain this, so that's okay. Start with a Cryogen. Pretty cool new blue draw spell in Hobbit set, Plunder the Trollshaws. I'm not familiar. I don't think I've seen that one yet. What's it do? Pick up the relic, replay the relic, a lot of lands. Let's just play a bridge, and we have a cast down. Draws a card, then draws 2 on flashback. 1 in a blue-red, regular, 3 in a blue flashback. I was just going to say, based on the text that you said, draw, then draw 2, if it was just a blue, and then 4 on flashback, it might be like decent. I think 2 mana just to cycle is pretty rough. Oh, it is an instant, not a sorcery. That does make it a little better. It's interesting. It's kind of like, what's that one that we had before? Dreams of Laguna. Same cost for, I think it was Scry 1, then draw with flashback. Where's Deep Analysis, IMO? Yeah, I mean, usually you want to like cheese the Deep Analysis by discarding it first and then get your draw 2. Instant speed is a big deal, though. Could be cool. Let's go for a Cryogen. If we draw land. Okay, Bauble's decent. I think we're just going to bargain a Cryogen here. Get a nice draw 3 going. Nice. So we get to Bauble away a Samurai, Monitor, and leave up a Thraben Charm. And they're going to crack a clue. Yeah, it sounds like it could definitely be playable, potentially. It's not necessarily anything I'm like super excited about because it just sounds like it's a lot of the same type of thing we've seen before with various numbers shuffled around. But like, it could be cool. Could be good enough to play in the right deck. Crack another Synth. Get an Inspector. Play that. I think I'm going to crack a Relic. I have another one in hand. I don't want to charm something in case they have a Bolt for this in response. We do have a lot of mana, so I'm going to crack one of these in our upkeep, though. Get rid of a Seed. We'll keep a Cast down. Play a Monitor. Play a Relic. Glint Hawk. We already have a good amount of removal, so I think we just pick up the Cryogen here. Bargain. I think we start on the offensive, finally, with a good amount of flyers, creatures that are bigger than theirs, some removal. If they go for killing like in a Monitor, we can bargain it. They make a Robot, crack a Clue, Lembas. How many removal spells have they used? They did 2 bolts, Galvanic Blast, 3 bolts, and 2 Galvanics, plus 2 Journeys. That's a good amount, but probably means they have 2 more Galvanics and a Lightning Bolt. Synthesizer, hits a Plains. Card advantage this deck generates is absurd. That is really the reason to play the deck, is the card advantage. Like, we're both doing a pretty good job. We're both at like sub 20 cards in our deck on turn 12. All right. I probably want to hold up the bargain, so I'm just going to kill a samurai here. I mean, they could take this opportunity to kill one of our guys, but that's fine. Oh, right, we have mirror enforcers. I don't think I've seen those at all, have I? Cryogen Relic? No, I have not. Thoughtcast. Drop a couple enforcers. They'll hold down the ground. Swing for 8 in the air. Also have more removal and life gain in hand. They go to 14. Of course, they have a couple Lembuses on board as well. Crack a clue here. There's a Glint Hawk. Pick up a Synth. Hits a Relic of Progenitus. Replay the Synth. Hits a Lembus. Play that. Scry to the top. So they got something they liked. Skyfisher. Yup. Pick up Synth. They hit a Radiant Fountain. Oh, I'm realizing you can't see this. So they have this Relic they can play. Now those are irrelevant. Alright, let's Thraben Charm to kill the Skyfisher and crack a Grim Bauble to surveil. Ancient Den we'll put into the yard. We will keep a Cam. Gonna just play Cam to tap the Glint Hawk. Attack with. Everything seems a little aggressive. Maybe I just go flyers, but then they're surviving so many turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm attacking with everything, actually. I can keep this tapped. I can tap another thing with the Surveillance Cam. I have life gain from the bargain. I'm generally just not too worried. If they want to do a huge block on an Enforcer, that's fine too. Let's crack this in case they get like a cast down. Refurb is fine. They're going to crack the Relic, draw a card. Prismatic Strands. That's funny. They can prevent the 6 damage from the monitors, but obviously can't do anything about these. I assume they will choose blue. Yeah. All right, trade for a couple guys there. Refurb their hand. Play a Vault. Or I already played a land. Pass. Is it just me, or is there not a lot that's scary in this Boros Moxite list? It's definitely more of a Boros Synth list, also playing Moxite. Like, there are 10 cards left in their deck. I don't expect them to be playing Snacker at this point, which you can't really play Snacker with a Synth, because if you flip it up, you lose that card. Is that a Journey they got? That's pretty good. They go for the Enforcer. So we get to gain 7, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think that Moxite's not looking too good in this list. It's basically Boros Synth, which I like Boros Synth a lot, but the main problem with it is that it's not a deck that has very good threats. So yeah, they crack a Synth to make a Samurai. I maybe should have exiled their graveyard when they cracked that Lembus, so it would get exiled, plus I get this Strands. If they go for another Lembus, I might do that. I played something similar and seems like there isn't a big payoff. Yeah, I'm agreeing. If I go for this bargain, I mill out first. I guess technically I'm already milling out first because of their Lembuses. I think it's fine. If we can't kill them in like 8 turns here, then we don't deserve to win, I guess, or something. Although I also want to crack this, which is another draw too. Attack with the Inspectors. We'll take 2. Well, now I can kill the Samurai, and they won't be able to flash back the Strands. So I can deal 8, and then I can charm the Strands before it's relevant. I guess I could already do that, but oh, they just cast it for us. Nice. So I don't even have to exile it. Compass, swing for 8. I mean, they're at a virtual 19 with these Lembuses. Do I want to exile one with this charm is the question. Oh, they're going to go for a Thraben Charm of their own. Fair enough. That's going to work. All right, what do we have left in our deck? Because I know there's one more Enforcer. Skyfisher, 1, 2, 3. So there's one more of those. Glint Hawk, 1, 2, 3. There's one more of those. Refurbs, those are all gone. Monitor. So I have 4 more creatures in our last 7 cards. I feel like it's probably better than if I use Cam now and try to deploy them. I do draw 2 cards. Destroy Journey, Skyfisher that you draw. Oh yeah. I kind of, very smart. I always kind of forget about the ability to like blow up a Journey at instant speed. That's pretty smart. So I could do that. Pick up a Refurb here. Yeah, I could have saved the Utrom. That would have been the right call. You're 100% right. I just forgot about that. I'm just going to do this. Untap this Monitor, I guess. Hope to draw 2 of my creatures. Okay, there's at least 1. Play a Compass. But I still have a Skyfisher, a Glint Hawk, and a Utrom in the deck in 5 cards. Kind of annoying. Another Lembus. Radiant Fountain. They have so much life gain. Jeez. All right, well, we will use this now. Oh, we actually have a 3rd Monitor here. I forgot about that. Okay, so actually Monitor's better than this guy because it's more damage. So I don't have a 3rd Monitor in my deck. I forgot that it was under this Journey. Okay, we'll swing with the team. In response to their Thraben, but it's still a possibility for a future play. Yes, no, I know what you meant. I just didn't see your thing until after I'd already done it, or not done it. But I agree that would have been a good play. Well, we have 4 more turns, which is a good amount. They do get to make 2 robots. They have 3 Lembus, which can shuffle back in, and they probably draw them. Oh my gosh. They're doing 2 at once. Oh my gosh, if I had a Thraben Charm right here, I'd blow up their graveyard. It's probably worth it to have the Monitor over it, but still. Glint Hawk. Oh my gosh. Recast Lembus. Could be our Crossroads for more life gain. Another bridge. Swing with the team. 5, 10, 15. Oh, I think our last 3 cards in our deck are lands. Unless if there's any in here. Oh, there's 2. Okay, cool. There's 1 more land in our deck then. No wonder it's not that strong. They have Glint Hawk but no Ancient Dens. Yeah, that's their problem for sure. I mean, if they don't draw Limbus, we have them dead in a couple turns. Galblast. Oh my gosh. And a Windscarred Crag. So I have 1 monitor. I still have a Glint Hawk in the deck, I think, to go the distance. Ancient Den. That was our last land. Of course, we had to drop before our spells. Another Limbus. Bolt our monitor. Crackle Limbus. Okay, I guess we'll let them just run out some time because they're going to get us with the mill. Ancient Den. There's our Glint Hawk. Pass the turn. We just need the card in our deck that deals 13 damage to them directly. Where's our Carevex Torch? Ooh, nice. Cryogen Relic. That seems pretty good. Oh, how'd we lose? Well, that was crazy. Duress is decent. Rebuke. And some Blue Blasts. Envelop for Dust to Dust, I guess, is probably worth it. 17 lands in play aside of a nice quick game. Indeed. Certainly is. I mean, Moxite and Synth. I think Envelop only hits Dust to Dust, which is important to hit. But I think Rebuke is going to try to be our way of catching that. And Duress. We have both of those. And then some Blue Blasts. Compass is good for if they do get a land something off or like to have Rebuke up early. So I think it's too important to cut. Fumes to win the combats of Hawks and Cores. It's not bad, but as we saw there, like we both have a lot of removal. We're not usually going to have like 10 creatures on board or whatever. It's going to be only a couple. So maybe we catch them there, but like we got to cut something. And I'd rather just have the ability to cast down their guys as opposed to like, oh, maybe in combat I can kill a few of them. So it's not a bad idea. It's just I need to find something to cut, and I think it's not most of our creatures. We saw we couldn't keep creatures around even with all their removal, even with so many that we have. So yeah, I mean, I think Cam is good. Bobble's good. I don't know what to cut. Like maybe we don't need this much direct damage. Maybe these guys we can cut like an Enforcer, I guess. Makes sense. Yeah, that's why. All right, this one is fine. We have a Blue Blast and a Duress. We don't have any engine pieces is the problem. We don't have white mana. Yeah, I don't think this is good enough. Like, this is better. I think we'll get rid of the Charm. We just need more cards to set up our engine, because obviously that's what's important here. I don't think I need to duress them on turn 1, so we'll do it turn 2 before they dust to dust us. Maybe even turn 3, actually. Yeah, if I do it now, like, the later the better, because it gives them an extra chance to draw it if dust to dust is what I'm playing around, so I'm going to wait another turn. Back on the Esper, yes, indeed. Kabir Crossroads, pass, refurb. All right, so let's refurb first. I guess technically they could discard their only spell, and then I can't duress them, so I should probably duress first, but whatever. Let's see what they got. No Dust to Dust. Pyroblast, Double Galvanic, and a Glint Hawk. Pyroblast is pretty good. Galvanic Blast is only 2 damage right now, and it's redundant, so yeah, I think we take the Pyro. They're going to just blast this. That makes sense. Furnace, pass. That's exactly why I mean, hopefully they didn't draw another Pyroblast, but exactly why we took it was so we can resolve this. Duress could take Galvanic, but they probably just cast it on us in response, which is fine. They clearly don't have a Synth or a Moxite. I think we wait a turn on a Duress. Given how good Duress is in some matchups, have you considered Divest in the main board? Just side them out in bad matchups and they hit main board hate threats. I have done Divest in the sideboard. I haven't done main deck Divests because they are bad in some matchups, so I'm not sure that's something you'd want. But sorry, your brain is fun to pick. You make a living off of it. No, I'm happy to answer whatever questions you have. Yeah, Divest is one that I've definitely tried because it helps in some matchups, and it can take Masked Vandal and Troublemaker Oof. Main deck, it's hard to find room for in the main deck, and it just is. Yeah, I'm not sure you always want hand attack, but it's not a terrible idea. I'm doing this now because even if they only have Galvanic Blast, they cast it on us, and then I can Glint Hawk, and they don't have a Galvanic Blast for it. I'm happy for them to use a Journey on Glint Hawk because I can maybe blow it up later with a Thraben Charm. Plus, it's sorcery speed, and it pinches their white mana, which is all they have. Oops, they have the you know what I'm saying. They have Journey to Nowhere still. So we're taking Galvanic Blast for sure. And yeah, our engine's going and theirs isn't. This is why we got a mulligan to an engine, which we didn't, our engine pieces that we kept were these. We ended up finding the Relic and then the Glint Hawk, but yeah, they have nothing going on. And we're going to pull way ahead. So that was sick. Let's see if I want to change anything. Then bring in Pyroblasts, Galvanic, Lightning Bolts, Moxite. There's a lot of stuff for Blue Blasts. think we'll just resubmit. How did Divest feel in the side? What are the bad matchups? So worst matchups for the deck are usually the aggro ones, Red Rally, or just more fast ones. Red Rally, Mono Red Madness, even Spy can kind of kill fast enough that it's hard to do, or it's hard to play against. Although we've played against Spy twice and won both times, but we've just had the right draws. This is a really tough call. I don't really want to get rid of a land, especially if they dust us. I don't really want to get rid of usually I would get rid of Cryogen, no problem here, but if I get rid of one and then they Pyroblast the second, that's really rough. So I almost think I just get rid of Monitor. But I also can't cast Glint Hawk right now, but it's too good. I think we're getting rid of the Monitor. Elves is not great either, correct. So yeah, Divest felt decent, and particularly we were trying to, well, we got it back. We're trying to bring in Divest against Masked Vandal matchups, and certainly anything playing creatures like elves or spy or whatever. So it's good there, and then also it hits artifacts. Although I don't think we really have that much trouble with like Affinity or other mid-range matchups. I think in general we can outgrind any other mid-range matchup. Obviously we had a very grindy game one here and lost it, but in general I think we can. That's decent. Ooh, I should have played the Seat, because if these get dusted, then I would still have our all three colors, and now I might not. But oh well. Yeah, Divest felt decent. It just, there's a lot of cards to try out. So Divest is definitely not one I'm not sold on. But it's also just, as I was mentioning earlier, there's a lot of, that sucks. There's a lot of 1-pip cards in this deck. Glint Hawk, Refurb, Ultra Monitor, Grim Bauble, Thoughtcast, and they're all 3 different colors that like Divest, it's so hard to fit everything in and not screw up our mana. Okay, well, I could do this, and hopefully I find removal for Gorilla Shaman. It's bad top deck, but it's hand hate. Yeah, I mean, it's bad top deck, but like that's okay if it fixes some matchups. Yeah. It definitely helped. It didn't like fix all our problems like I was hoping it would when I tried it. This is going to be a dust to dust. Oh, never mind. They tapped 3 mana with 2 white, I thought for sure. Because like they're playing Gorilla Shaman, but that doesn't mean they're not also playing like 2 or 3 dust to dust and like diversifying. Galvanic Blast, that's fine. Mana Constraints is the best argument IMO, or the one that makes the most sense to me. Yeah, like that's one that people don't necessarily think about, but it's like a big issue in the deck and why it feels so much worse. Perfect. Amazing. It's exactly what I needed, because I needed to get rid of this Shaman. Now I can Glint Hawk and Ultra Monitor. They're just going to kill it. That's fine. The trigger is the most important part, because it's going to be a draw 2. And I could play the bridge, but they're only at 2 cards. I think it's better to get Monitor down. It blocks, it can attack, start that terrain rolling. Seeing as clearly they gain a lot of life. It does mean if they get another Gorilla Shaman, then they have a land they can blow up, but oh well. They crack a clue, a Radiant Fountain. If they don't do anything super relevant, then we get to just Cryogen Glint Hawk for a nice draw 2. Is that a dust to dust? Yes, it is. Okay. If it happened last turn, we would have been screwed. This turn, it's bad. Oh, what a good draw. But not the end of the world. The fact that we can cast that Thoughtcast is incredible. But like the difference between those two, that one turn, is that we were able to kill the Shaman and get a Monitor down. So now we have an attacker, / a blocker. We don't lose all of our untapped lands. And then the Thoughtcast was an incredible draw. Windscarred Crag for them. Now if they have another dust to dust, pretty bad, but looks like no. Attack for 1, swing for 3. Oh, I only have 1 blue mana here, because I kind of wanted to Monitor plus Cryogen, but I think I want to get down the bridge then to have more blue. Yeah, I think we're going to Cryogen plus bridge. Oh, Pyroblast. Okay, fair enough. Not the end of the world. We have another one. It's slower to do it this way. We get fewer attackers down. I could have played Monitor and Glint Hawk, but then we pick up Grim Bauble. I really want this engine to be going. We need to be getting value, because if we just trade 1 for 1 with our creatures and then don't get the value, we're not going to skyrocket ahead of them. They do get a Garrison here. Journey to Nowhere. Wish I could sacrifice this at instant speed here, but they're 2 cards in hand. One of them's a Radiant Fountain. Ooh, I could take their 2 cards. Means Glint Hawk's not picking up something with Relic, and that is more value for us. Plus their first card is discarded as a land, so I don't think I actually care. Let's start now. I could start with a Monitor. If they have a Pyroblast, they're going to go for this Relic. Nice. Ooh, actually, maybe I want to leave that up. Oh, but I want to get this Monitor down. Some tough choices here. Definitely going to Glint Hawk back the Relic. I think I'm going to go for the Monitor. We're pinched on blue, so if I leave up the blue Elemental Blast and then don't use it, I'm going to be kind of forced to hold it up again, and then I'm only going to be able to play Monitor or Relic next turn. We know one of their cards in hand, so they only have one card plus one off the top. So the chances of them having a red spell that I really want to counter are low-ish. Like if they kill one of these with a bolt, I don't care to counter that. If they do a Moxite or a Synth here, I would love to counter it, obviously. So a bit of a tough one there, but I think this is a lot better if they don't do anything that like I wish I blue blasted here, because then we get to start attacking them. Nice clock. I can now start playing like Refurb and Skyfisher. There we go. Yeah, that first game was crazy. They said your deck is like my deck, but better. I do generally agree with that. I mean, I was surprised they were able to outgrind us in game one. I think that was definitely in part due to some rough draws / some bad play from me. Like at the end, maybe I drew too many cards, things like that. But yeah, I generally don't mind this matchup because I think we do just eat their deck up a little bit. The thing about theirs is their deck is a lot cheaper, because Synth costs 1, and 1 mana every single time they play it is so much less mana when we're replaying Cryogen. But they don't get to choose how to sequence their cards. If they flip up a Skyfisher, they better hope they have an artifact in play. If they flip up a removal spell, better hope they have a target. And they can't hold it for the exact right time. Ours costs a lot more mana, but we're able to sequence things better. And so, yeah, and obviously we don't have that burn win that they can have. Although if they have to spend all their burn spells on our creatures, it's a lot harder to have that. But yeah, they need a bigger payoff for all that card draw. They just keep getting middling cards. Exactly. It's like Death by 1,000 Cuts. It's like, oh, it's kind of cool. And like Skyfisher, Glint Hawk is very good, are good payoffs, right? 2 power flyers for really cheap that keep drawing you cards is good payoffs. But Inspectors are like so medium there. Maybe 2 to 3 Rally the Peasants. Problem with any card like Rally the Peasants is 2 things. One, it's 3 mana. They try to make sure almost every single one of their cards in their deck is 2 mana, because if they play a Synth, they want to only need 2 other mana to be able to cast those things. Whereas if they have a bunch of 3-drops, they were playing Prismatic Strands in the main deck, and of course Dust to Dust in the side, but that's fewer. The more 3-drops they add, the harder it is to ensure that their Synth is always hitting something they can cast. And then what if Synth hits a Rally the Peasants when they have no creatures on board, or 1 creature and it needs to block or whatever? And so that's the problem, is not just timing constraints, but deck restraints because of the synthesizer specifically. 3 mana, but they're pretty consistent on their lands. That's true, but it's not just a matter of do they have all their lands. It's not just a matter of do they have the mana. It's like, it's also okay, how much mana do they need in a single turn? Generally, you don't want to play a Synth unless you have at least 2 more mana to cast something. But what if you then turn up a Glint Hawk? Well, now you need an extra 2 mana to cast something, because you're going to Glint Hawk that Synth back to hand. And so what if you do that a couple of times and then you hit a Rally when you would have wanted to hit a 2-drop, right? Like, it's really tough because you could have 7 mana at the start of your turn, and if you get the right chain, you might end up wasting something at the end of it. This hand is incredible. 7-card hand would be perfect. If I had blue mana, I would get rid of a Compass, but I have to keep the Compass for blue. Now, I want to get rid of Bauble because we keep our Engine, but if I go up against Elves or something, I'm going to really wish that I had this Bauble. So I could hedge for everything and just keep the Glint Hawk, I think, or excuse me, get rid of the Skyfisher. I think that's what I do, but it's a little unfortunate that I have to get rid of a Skyfisher, which is such a good card for us. We'll start with the bridge. Do you think the reason Synth has switched to Moxite is for that greater control on timing, or because Snacker is Snacker? I think it's both, for sure. Okay, we might be happy we kept the Bauble. We are against Spy again, and they have a Caretaker. They have a Vandal, but luckily don't yet have a way to put something in the graveyard, so I guess we don't want to put something in the graveyard for them yet. This is a little awkward because I can Compass, but I have to then not Glint Hawk. I could Glint Hawk back a Vault, I guess. They have 2 Spies in hand. They have nothing. Well, I guess they drew for turn, so they could have a land or something. Do I want to start going on the attack? Cryogen's so good. I think we're just passing here. Anyway, yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that Synth is an incredible draw engine, but you lose that agency, and so Moxite, greater control on timing, is a really big thing. Of course, they got their land naturally. Wall of Roots. But Snacker's also very, very good. Their 2 draws were land and then Battlement. That's insane. Thraben Charm. So I guess they still have 2 more lands to go. So we're not dead unless they go crazy lucky. They could go for a Spy and then Vandal us. What are you going to do? Like Spy to mill themselves just to Vandal? Maybe Synth should be on gates. Maybe. It's an option. But then you're either not having enough gates or you're not having enough artifact lands to be able to properly meet your metalcraft and all that stuff, and that's, tough. Okay, they go for a spy. They hit a ton. I don't know if it's only 19 cards, so it can't be lethal. But of course, then they get to Vandal us. And they also just have another spy in hand and a Dread Return. So a Thraben Charm would be nice. That's pretty much what we need to survive. All decks are Gates decks to me. I mean, all decks are Gates decks that just haven't realized they should be running Gates, Cast down, a little late for that. Cast down this, but that doesn't really change anything. Their graveyard doesn't have any of the relevant pieces yet, but they also only have one land left, so they spy. They only have one black mana, so they can't like Dread Return, Spy or anything. There was a really interesting Jeskai Cryo Gates deck that did well in NYC tournament a few months back. Nice. That sounds interesting. All right, we're going for Glenhawk and picking up Cryogen. I guess I replay Cryogen. We're dead this turn if they have it, but that's pretty much the case regardless. It gives us the best shot at drawing more cards to hopefully have it for next turn if they don't. You never said a more true statement, Gates only meta. I appreciate it. They go for a Winding Way and they mill the swamp, so now they can just spy and combo. Gotta go, enjoy the stream, good luck with the rest. Thanks, appreciate it, have a good one. There's the spy. So this is generally why spy's bad. Again, we've won against them twice already, but like we just didn't draw like our exact right cards in the beginning, and then we lose. But we do have Envelops and Fairy Macabres to bring in, which are both very good cards against them. Get out, Fumes, Cam, a little bit of all of this. And if we're lucky, Fairy Macabre will just get there. No questions asked. This one's so close. With the Compass, obviously only one land is pretty bad in general, not to mention if they Vandal us, we're going to be in trouble. Got a mulligan. This one's good, though. I think we're getting rid of Compass, although if they take away our black source, that's pretty bad. But, yeah, I think we're doing that. They mulligan to 3, so that helps. We do have an Envelop, which is going to be cast pretty much on the first sorcery we're able to. If we had like a seat and could have it up immediately turn 1, then I could maybe even catch a land grant. I mean, I could still maybe catch one, but less likely. There's a forest. Okay, we got a vault, so I don't have to be worried as much. I think we should play this a little slow and not just go for the Cryogen, because their way to get back into this is like a Winding Way. And if they have that right now, then I can envelop it. Now, if they Mask Vandal us, that'll be annoying. Battlement, can't do anything about that. Another envelop. Well, let's just Cryogen. I could refurb. If they only had one card, I would. But they've got 2, which is still not bad, like when they have so few cards. But let's go for this. Maybe they lead the Stampede here. We get to envelop it. Beautiful. Glint Hawk is amazing. Pick up the relic and then refurb. We're going to leave up the other envelop. They discard a Hydra. No reason to let them draw a million off. Battlement. I could go for a bargain. I think I just want the 5-turn clock on them. Ooh, Monitor. See, I still want to play Relic, but I need to hold up Envelop. I think I could bargain away a Vault. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Okay, nothing for a bunch of green mana. 7. It's more fun to play Relic, but we should probably just play Skyfisher because that produces lethal damage on them next turn. So let's just do that. Even if they could somehow go for the combo and mill all the lands, I have an Envelop for a Dread Return. So okay, Saga Wildling blocks and gains life, so we're not winning yet. Swing, they block here, and they take 7. We'll bargain this. Draw 2. Good cards, but again, I don't think I need to. Unless they get another Wildling, I can just cast down this one and attack for lethal on our turn. Still having an Envelop up, which we're pretty easily televising that we have an Envelop, but that's not a big deal. All right, kill the Wildling, go for lethal. All right, and let's go once more. Can't keep this one. I mean, we're going to keep this, and we're going to hope the Envelops get us there. I think we want to keep our lands, even though we have very little else going on, but we have good mana. Skyfisher is good if we get a Cryogen or a Refurb, and Envelop is good. So we're on the draw, so we're not going to, even with the seat, we're not going to be able to catch a land grant turn 1, maybe turn 2. Same with like a Roost Seek, but we will be able to catch some of the other stuff. Winding Way and lead the Stampede. They mulligan to 5. Seems like they're deciding what to bottom. and they keep 5. Start with a swamp. Yeah, let's just start with the seat. Maybe I should start with the Goldmire, because if they cycle a Generosent here and then go for a Masked Vandal, I lose my blue source. That's kind of bad. Can't do anything about it now. Winding Way would be much better for us. Okay, well, our blue source isn't gone, but Battlement's good. Not quite what we're wanting to draw. Gate Creeper Vine for a forest, Wall of Roots, and then the Vandal. They go for the bridge, which is better for us. Obviously, they have no way of knowing that, but Envelop keeps us alive, and obviously we have more black and white. They just cast a giant. Well, that's unfortunate. If we get a cast down, I can be fine. Otherwise, I can start chumping it, I guess, with Skyfishers, but that's going to kill us pretty quick. Okay, Thoughtcast. I think we should just go for the Thoughtcast. We only have 1 blue. Okay, now we have more, but if I found a refurb or something, that'd be a good play. I mean, now I can go for a Skyfisher and then chump with a bargain on this. It's not the worst. Battlement, Sentinel, Cryogen. Oh, this is so tough. If I play a Skyfisher to chump, I have to pick up a land, which is bad because I'm not developing our mana. If I play Cryogen Relic, I could crack it to keep the giant tapped, but then I'm not developing our board for the Skyfisher to pick up the Relic. I could just play Cryogen and pick it back up. Might be our best play, but then we're tapped out, and technically they could just kill us with an Envelop or with something off the top, and I want to leave up Envelop. I could Cryogen and do nothing. That seems bad. I think everything starts with a Cryogen, so let's do that and see if we draw anything relevant. Bauble's minorly relevant. It's another artifact I can put on the field. It kills this, or this actually cuts off 2 mana. This is an attacker, though, which maybe I care about more. Then we're taking a hit for 7, and then our goal is to never take another hit. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do this and leave up Envelop. If we died with 2 Envelops in hand because we tapped out, like, it would be pretty bad. I mean, I'd do it if I had to, but I think we might be okay. Phone's down to 1%. Catch you in the VOD. See you, Shadeblade. Another Vandal. Come on, dude. I just killed a creature. They take our white source, which now matters. They top deck a Masked Vandal. Completely ridiculous. Okay, I'm not dead because now I have to crack the Cryogen on this because bargain this doesn't save me. So I have to do this. Refurb is okay. It just draws me a card. I think I need to get the white mana down instead, though. So I'm taking 2 from these guys. And of course they draw none of the sorceries in their deck. Generosent. Ancient Den. Okay, Refurb draws us a card. Cast down maybe. Monitor's decent. Monitor and Skyfisher. I guess we're going to tap out of the Envelop this time. Can't really... I mean, this will be the turn when they draw the sorcery, of course, but I can't really afford to hold it up this turn. I just need to draw more cards. There's a cast down. They crack a food. Oh, look. There's a Lead the Stampede. I mean, it's not the best Lead the Stampede, but it's another Generosent I have to contend with. And of course, I literally held up Envelop for like 7 turns in a row, I think. Maybe 1 turn we tapped out, but it was like 6-ish turns in a row. And of course they drew it then. What are the odds? Where's Hypergeomancer when you need him? Nowhere to be found. Okay, block. I could double block this, chump here, but then I go to 1 and these are all lethal, so I might as well just be killing these. I still have to chump and chump, but I keep this alive. They crack a food. We go to 2. They have 3 lethal attackers. I have a cast down, bargain, a Skyfisher, Glint Hawk. I can't even like double bobble down the giant. I have to block, so I'm going to cast down one of these 3. Probably the Ent. Chump with a Monitor, and then bargain it, I guess. Glint, double block, giant, cast the Ent. There are 2 Ents, yeah, because they were able to get the Lead the Stampede off. The 1 turn I didn't hold up an Envelop. So I think I just cast down and bargain here, which means I'm double chumping again. They're trying to kill the Wall of Roots. Interesting. Or at least get it low enough where they could kill it if they wanted to, because they just added a mana for no reason. So I'll cast down a Generosent. I'm going to gain 5 off of the Monitor, so I'll go up to 7. So I could take a hit from the Ent. I think that's worth it. Of course, I have to tap out again, so I'm sure they drew another Lead the Stampede. Fairy Macabre is maybe something, I don't know. They just drew a Spy. Oh my god, what if they went for Spy right now? They have a land in their deck still. Man, what if they actually milled out there? No, they just played Spy because it's a lethal attacker, I guess. Okay, Refurb's good. Refurb draws us a card. Glint Hawk, pick up Refurb, play Refurb again. And then I guess I do it once more. Draw a bunch. Monitor would be great. Okay, another Macabre. I might hardcast a Macabre next turn. All right, I have to chump here, and then I have to block this. So chump, block. Now I can either put this here and take nothing, or I can block here, kill the spy for the Glint Hawk, and they have a lethal attacker. But they have 4 lethal attackers. Oh my gosh. I guess I have to do this. I don't know if it's really better either way. I have another cast down. I have some other stuff, but Glint Hawk. I mean, I can double bobble the Vandal and then have a chump blocker and a chump blocker. Yeah, that's the thing to do. And then I can sack it to Surveil. We have Mirror Enforcers in this deck too, but we're not finding them. I have to chump both of them. Mesmeric Fiend. Sure. I mean, that's unfortunately a lethal attacker. They take a Macabre, sack Bauble. We have a Cryogen Relic. I mean, that's good. We'll get rid of Bridge, keep a Relic. Relic for 4 mana draws us 2 cards and keeps one of these tapped. Thoughtcast. Let's do that. Refurb draws us another card. Thoughtcast. Okay. Wait. If I use a Thoughtcast, I can't Cryogen and Fairy Macabre, which technically I need to survive. Oh, let's not tap like that. I mean, I'm literally hardcasting a Fairy Macabre, and then they're going to just top deck their Spy, I bet. Or now that I'm tapped out, they'll... Oh, well, that's a good draw, actually. They're going to top deck a Lead the Stampede, which I could counter with Envelop if I had mana, into a Spy. Okay, it's a Wall of Roots. They don't attack this turn. Okay, that's good. Thoughtcast. Compass is honestly not nothing here. I can't attack with the Refurb because they have a Ent. I'll draw a card here. Bajuka Bog. Here's a Compass. I mean, Bog makes it so a Vandal off the top is not as helpful, so sure. Somehow we're still not dead. And I actually finally had a couple turns that were decent enough that, like, maybe I could get there. They know we have Envelops now because they saw the Fiend, so, like, they won't be casting sorceries into them. And ideally, I won't have to tap out again. But they only have 2 big creatures, so the moment... Let's see, I've cast down 1. There's no worlds where I took a cast down out, right? Good. So I have 2 cast downs left. Cryogen is a great draw. Okay, I think we're stable, so I should resist the urge to crack the Cryogen Relic just to, like, speed something up, because if I get a Skyfisher, I'm going to wish I had it. They're going to just start shrinking their Walls of Roots in case they want to put them in the yard. 7 mana for a Wildling. 5 mana for that, I guess. Okay. Any attacks? No, they're going to pass. Another Cryogen. Thoughtcast. Great draw. Ugh. Hardcast Giant could be bad from them. Oh, that's why they're doing the Walls of Roots. Yeah, you're right. Good call. I think we're going to crack 1 Cryogen now that we have a second one. Oh my gosh, so many lands now. I know I went through a lot of spells before, but we still have 2 cast downs, a Mirror Enforcer. I mean, we got to have 2 monitors, a Glint Hawk, a Skyfisher, a Refurb, both Thraben Charms. I mean, Envelop isn't totally useless that they know about it. Like, we are stopping them from ever going for a win now because of Dread Return, but still not great. Yeah, they get to swing with everything. Oh, they're not going to swing with the Wildling? Yeah, they are. I have to try to block something. Like, I could trade one of these for this, but then I'm chumping both of these? I probably block these here, and then I think I'm gonna Cryogen this right now. I know that if I now get one of my Skyfishers or Glint Hawks, of course it's gonna look stupid, but if I get a cast down or something, it changes a lot. So block here, block here. I think I could take the hit from the Wildling, but then we go to 1, and if they do hardcast a Lotleth Giant, we're going to die. I think I might have to deal with that, because then Glint Hawk can block here. Oh, but I want the Refurb to be around. It's just a worse blocker. Yeah, I think I'm doing this. If they have a Lotleth Giant to hardcast, then they got me. But I need something to pick up with the Refurb or the Glint Hawk, and it's going to be this. Giant goes to the yard, but of course I have Envelops for Dread Returns, so unless they have 2 Dread Returns, and I have to counter it and the flashback, and then yeah, that's what they're doing. I could let it go because I actually don't take any pings. No, because then in response they do a Wall of Roots, so that's not gonna work. So I have to counter it. Please get out of here. Yeah, so I have to counter, and then they could flash back, and then I have to counter. They might think we don't have double blue if they don't know how Compass works. Oh, stop. Why the hell is this popping up in front of me every time? This is really annoying me. Island. Envelop. But if they also just have a Dread Return next turn, we're going to die now. Monitor, a little late. They have This isn't untapping, so all they have is a wildling. I mean, I guess we attack. Yep, they said they didn't think about Compass, which was what I was banking on. Refurb, I guess makes him discard. It's a fiend. It's not nothing. Pass the turn. They get a spy. Look at that. Oh, they mill themselves. That's crazy. I mean, I guess this was like a bit of a bang to go out with for the last game, but pretty... Oh, they have Gorilla Shamans. Interesting. Pretty unlucky, I would say. That envelop, the fact that they got it the moment we tapped out. They got all the Masked Vandals they needed. Pretty outrageous. Well, it was kind of close. We almost went 4-1 and almost went 3-0 against Spy. So maybe, I mean, Fairy Macabre makes it so Spy is a lot less of a bad matchup. So which is why I've put it in the sideboard. It's kind of become the answer. I don't know. I think every time I play this deck and I don't go up against a bunch of mono red madnesses, the deck feels pretty good. It's just when I do go up against Madness and Rally and stuff like that, it feels really bad. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those decks you got to accept that you have some really bad matchups, and the bad matchups are some of the most prevalent decks in the meta. Not something I love to do. But, yeah, I don't necessarily think this is a terrible deck in the meta, but again, you're struggling against those more prevalent red matchups. Obviously, you can do things to help it out. I'm gonna always be working on this because it's one of my favorite decks to play. Just really, really fun. And I do think that Candy Trail idea, or maybe even the new Giant's Boulder or whatever, could be a solution for sure. So, in any case, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll see you next time.